You are listening to License to Chill, the official Margaritaville podcast. My name is Ryan.
My name is Patrick. This is your weekly vacation away from whatever you're up to. Stop looking up what TikTok dance you can do. No trends. Stop trying to follow trends today.
That's a dirty word.
We're following fun. We're enjoying ourselves.
That's good.
We have such a great episode today, Ryan. We got to speak to the one and only McAnally out on the road. He's currently in Virginia, about to do a show tomorrow at the Jiffy Lube Live with the Coral Reefers. In partnership with the Doobie Brothers, they've been doing this incredible tour this entire month, and they're doing a couple more dates in September. We talked to him about being on the road. We talked to him about some incredible Jimmy memories, and we even talked to him about being on stage at the Sphere with Kenny Chesney.
It's a very, very cool episode. Mac's always been so generous and gracious with his time and kindness over the years, so very happy to have him on the show again. Without further ado, please enjoy this episode with the one and only McAnally. McAnally, thank you so much for joining us today. Good to see you again. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm getting to do the only thing I don't stink at, and people seem to enjoy it. That's what's a better deal than that?
Absolutely. Well, we're catching you. This is full musician style. We're catching you on the road. Where in the world are you, literally?
Well, we're in Gainesville, Virginia today. We're getting ready to play Jiffy Lube tomorrow night. This is an off night, and it's a multiple new experience for the Coral Reefers in that we haven't really been on a bus tour. I don't know how far my memory goes back, but it doesn't go back far enough to be on a bus tour. Jimmy spoiled us. He used to call us the Coddled Reefer Band because we were flying private planes and getting our luggage taken to the next room before we even touched it. We were so spoiled.
How is the bus? How's the bus like physically? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it?
We're enjoying it. The nice thing about the Coral Reefers is we're a second family, and Jimmy assembled a group of wonderful people, and crew and band, and so we enjoy each other's company, and we doubly enjoy the privilege of continuing this musical legacy that he did such a fine job of building over 5 decades. And it's a big rolling bundle of joy, just like it would be if he was still here.
Yeah.
We obviously miss him, but we feel him too. He's around.
Of course.
That's amazing. Well, I don't want to speak for Ryan, but Jiffy Lube Live is the first place he ever saw y'all perform.
It was the first place, second place, third place. I saw probably 10 shows there when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it's the first place that all of my daughters got to try to do the fins dance on stage. So it has sentimental value to me too. Yeah, I know you know some of the daughters, so they'll either verify or I don't think they'll disagree with me.
Yeah. We'll have to check that with Aaron. Yeah, we'll see what's going on.
Well, Mac, talk to us a little bit about this current tour. It's so cool. You and the Coral Reefers are on tour right now with the Doobie Brothers. You had your first show a couple nights ago. How has that been?
Well, it's been amazing, and honestly, it's not surprising to me that it's amazing because the Doobie Brothers are one of the best American rock and roll bands of all time. They go back and forth with Jimmy all through the years. I think each of them has opened for the other at different times and different points in their career. Jimmy and the Doobies, well deserved, timeless. They've got music that transcends generations. And we have that via Jimmy as well. If you're not colorblind, you can look out at the crowd and separate the parrot heads from the Doobie fans.
I imagine.
There's a lot of black T-shirts and there's a lot of Hawaiian shirts.
Sure.
But they're all happy. They're all happy by the middle of our set, and they stay happy across the Doobie Brothers set. So it's a wonderful thing.
This is your first 3 shows this week, right?
3 of the 20 are under our belt, and it's just wonderful.
Wow.
The Doobies crew and band could not be any nicer. They're heroes of mine, all the way back to when I was in high school bands trying to cover their records.
Wow.
Illegally in honky-tonk state line bars at the Tennessee line.
Of course.
And I got to tell you, you can sort of figure out the chords of Doobie Brothers songs, but there aren't many cover bands that can get up there and do those vocals. And I was in 5 or 6 of them that were not able to.
Trust me, you tried.
That's right.
Yeah. I was able to get one verse of "Listen to the Music" without going to the hospital because it's higher than God intended me to sing.
Yeah.
But I was up there for a verse and a chorus anyway.
That's so fun. I mean, it's so exciting. I got to see you, Mac, at the Troubadour earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
That was this year?
Yeah.
That was an amazing show, and it's so great to see you live. It is so special, and you with all the Coral Reefers. I wanted to ask you, when I was there, I was hanging out with Mick and Aaron. Aaron after the show, and we were talking outside, and there was a long line, and I was like, what's going on? And they told me Mac says hi to everyone who wants to say hi at the end of the show. They said, we'll be, I was like, oh, should we get some food? Like, we're going to be here for a couple more hours. Max is saying hi to every single person, which is so
cool.
Special, so rare. I wanted to ask, like, what in you, wants to be that person for these fans? Because that's such a kind thing to do for the people that come to see you.
I do know what's involved in getting a ticket and getting somewhere and giving up a day of your life. Honestly, it sounds like a joke, but I don't feel worthy of that much of somebody's time. So the fact that people have given that up and they've come there, I look at every time I get to play as a unique interaction. A show is a collaboration between an audience and an artist. My stories are different according to what that audience is on that given night. I mean, they're the same stories, but they come out a different way according to how we interact. I listen and we talk back and forth. It's a conversation. There's the bigger part of it is me. I was raised in church, and the mediocre preacher always goes and stands at the back door and shakes hands with everybody on the way out and makes sure that they know I'm doing my best, however adequate or inadequate it is. And honestly, that I've always played places that are small enough that I could talk to everybody in 20 minutes. And this last couple of years, it has grown beyond that to the point where my cardiologists are now saying, what about maybe just 30 minutes? How about that? You play a 2-hour show, and then you stand there and shake hands for 30 minutes instead of 2 more hours.
Right.
And they have a point. I realize I'm in the bonus round of life. I'm a heart attack survivor. So there probably end up having to be some compromise to the time limit of it, but I can't not do it. It's just the way I was raised.
That's so
sure.
kind.
I mean, the fans that are at these shows too, the Margarita Memories shows specifically, those are very special shows. There are people coming, of course, to see you and to see Eric, but also to, kind of heal in a way and hear these stories. Talk to us a little bit about coming up with this show, going on the road with it. What does that mean to you, now 2 years after Jimmy being gone?
Well, I think it evolves because when we first lost Jimmy, it was surface deeply emotional. It was a wound, for me and for the fans. I had to go play. Well, I think 4 days after he passed, I had a show up in Indiana, 4 or 5 days. There were people that brought Kleenex to the show, and it was a little bit of a wake, and I did that at various places over the country for most of that year. Most of the year. My shows were, it was bittersweet. There was some happy and some sad and some letting some emotion out. And some people said, I haven't been able to listen to his songs since he passed. And that's not right. That's not how Jimmy Buffett wants it. He left all this joyous music to be sung. So as we got past that sort of really emotional sting part of it a little bit, I think now sort of my calling is to remind folks how much joyous stuff he left for us that is not attached to time, that we can sing as long as we can get up and sing, and we can listen to beyond that point too. And it's a bunch of happy music, and it's a great service to all of humanity, and it's available to them forever. That's what I'm reminding the people now. And the band, the fact that I get to do that with the whole band now is that much better. And the fact that Scotty Emmerich is on these Margaritas and Memories shows as well, he went through the same thing with Toby. He wrote all these great songs, the great hit records with Toby. So he has stories. He's got stories about the origins of those and all of the unique aspects of how they came about those songs, and he can tell those, and I can tell some Jimmy stories. And the Jimmy and Toby were big buddies, and they both had in common that they made people feel better. And so the fact that there's deep emotional connection and there's all of this happiness, it's a good combo, and it's not something that you're going to get to see the next show down the road. It is a unique thing to see the Margaritas and Memories show. And the Jimmy show, to me now, is just pure joy, even though, Bubbles Up is still an emotional song to some folks because it's the last thing they heard right when he left this plane and went to the next. But if you look at Bubbles Up, it's an extremely positive message.
Of course.
It's that Jimmy wrote during the most difficult time he ever went through in his life. He wrote a positive message for himself and to leave for all of us. And what is not good about that? That's wonderful.
That's beautiful. That has me thinking too. I think what's so beautiful about artists is that they leave themselves in the work they make, and then you can kind of come back to it and find things that maybe you didn't realize were there or have different context. I know that Ryan and I, we first became friends because in our mid-20s we both were like, we're the only two people we know in Los Angeles in this like young artist space that were listening to Jimmy Buffett. So we started listening to it. And we were so into Pirate Looks at 40, but at 25, we were like, oh, this song is so sad. And now that we're nearing 40, we're like, no, this song is exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
It's not sad. It's beautiful. The things that happen, it evolves and it changes and it's gorgeous. So I was wondering if you have any songs that are hitting you differently or lyrics that kind of come out of nowhere that have memories now that everything is in this new context.
Oh no, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
and I make fun of myself in my own shows too. Some of the songs that it's easy to take Jimmy for granted because I've been playing with him all of these decades, even the band shows and then our little private shows. He and I would do 10 or 12 a year. That just the two of us, or just take Eric or Robert, or the smaller configurations. But a lot of his songs that I've played literally hundreds but probably thousands of times, I never really learned the words to because he was always right there on my side.
Yeah, totally.
I know the guitar part.
Yeah,
I know a couple of harmony lines, but all of a sudden I got to sing Pencil Thin Mustache, and what is it? And even his little clever songs that sound light and incidental are so well written. The Cheeseburger in Paradise, Gumbo, that's a light subject matter, but it's so well written. His literary bent is evident in all of those songs, and that's become more and more evident to me as I finally had to learn the words to Pencil Thin Mustache after playing it 1,000 times. The whole crowd knows the words to that song, but I just learned them. But I will say, in my own defense, we were doing the Today Show Friday morning concert that you got to show up in the 2 hours of darkness before the sun even comes up to do that show, and so that you can play as soon as the sun comes up. And there's a crowd of parrot heads there, and we're in New York, right outside the studio. And that particular year, I had to do the count off for the first song, and it was going to be Volcano. And so I'm listening in my ear. I've got the TV producer counting down 10 seconds until we're starting the song. So I've got to wait till he says the 3, 2, 1, and I've got to count 1, 2, 3, 4 at a different tempo than this guy's counting. He's counting seconds. And while somewhere between 10 and 7, Jimmy runs over to me and he goes, "What's the first line of the second verse of Volcano?" And I'm like, it was like you hit me with 220 volts at the same time. I'm like, I gotta count 1, 2, 3, 4 in just a second. Give me a minute here. It'll come to you. Get over there. I just turned it back to his microphone and said,
"That's so funny."
And the beauty of that is that he was nervous about it too. And you could put a gun to Jimmy's head and he can sing Volcano and do his taxes at the same time. But that minute, and I've had the same thing happen. What is the first line of the second verse of Volcano?
Of course.
Once you start thinking about it, you are in some serious trouble on TV. But it came to him, and it was all fine. I just considered maybe wearing Depends the next time that I have to do that particular job.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to manage up there.
That's incredible.
It's a lot,
yeah.
Well, speaking of Jimmy's music in particular, it's, especially over the past couple years, trickled down to other musicians as well. I know that, recently Kenny had his residency at the Sphere, and you joined him on stage. Is that right?
I did.
Wow.
And what an amazing thing. And I've known Kenny a long time, and I know how professional and how detailed he is at everything that he does. So it's not easy for me to be surprised by him at this point, but I was surprised at what an amazing thing he put together at the Sphere. And and the Sphere is on its own is an amazing thing. It's an amazing tool to be able to do more amazing things with. But Kenny put an amazing show together, and I have to say, I don't imagine there's a lot of people whose first view of the Sphere was from the stage.
Yeah,
sure.
And that's how I saw it for the first time, was while I was up there, supposed to remember the second verse of my own song with Kenny, And my family was there. My kids were all there. It was wonderful, and the crowd. Kenny wanted to do a tribute to Jimmy. We sang "Come Monday," like we did at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the whole sphere sang it, and were like holding their heart. And
cool.
It was. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
Do they give you advice on how to even get on that stage? I can't even. I can't imagine how overwhelming it is to be under that screen.
Well, and the sound, unlike a normal concert, the sound is largely coming from behind you.
Wow!
On a stage, the sound system's out in front of you. That sound system has 167,000 speakers.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I don't know who decided that was the right number, but I got to give them props, because it sounds really good.
Yeah,
Whoever
they did it.
said 167,000, it's 167,000. That's right. We nailed it.
We're gonna stop there.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many
That's
conversion
amazing.
vans could that have made blow up?
I know.
But anyway,
Wow.
it sounded great, and there was some adjustment into being on, because the stage is very clean, bare. There's not a lot on it
Yeah.
except us, and consequently, you can see all of that video from everywhere, and what they can do, moving the video and the audio.
Yeah.
Can fling you out of your seat if they want to. But Kenny's show was unbelievably visual as well. Our little section, being the thing that would differ every night. Kenny had a special guest most every night that was unannounced, and which is probably good on my part. I might have been a disappointment before the show if they knew it was me. I thought it was going to be somebody.
No way. And I'm guessing you didn't shake hands with everybody after the Sphere show.
That would take a couple more
I
hours.
didn't shake hands with all 18,000 people. It was Kenny's show, so I didn't feel that. I wasn't compelled. Thankfully, I'm glad I didn't see it that way. And probably all 18,000 people are in agreement with me on that. But it's an amazing thing. And he's going to do it again next summer. So I'll probably sneak out there again for a day next summer if he lets me come back, because it was awesome.
Very cool.
Amazing.
Very cool.
Well, I have one more thing to ask, too. I was talking to Erin the other day, and she said there's a smoke alarm in your house that won't stop going off.
There was a smoke alarm. And I didn't shoot it with a gun.
That's just urban
But
legend.
I did rip it.
Yeah.
I ripped it from its wiring.
I've done that. I think we've all done that.
I think it's appropriate to do that.
And honestly, it's not just me. My big departed brother, Mr. Jimmy Buffett, I saw him with a 5-iron take one out in a hotel. He was not concerned about the hotel burning. He was concerned about it stopping.
And I understand it.
He just wanted to get some rest. I
I
get it. Yeah,
understand that.
of course.
And he did the right thing, and I did the right thing. Nobody burned up. It stopped beeping. It's a win.
Yeah. Good to go.
Perfect. Well, Mac, thank you so much. We're so excited to see how the rest of this tour goes, and Margaritas and Memories is already on the road too. So if you're out there, go see Mac in concert. It is the best thing you can do.
Yeah, MacMcAnally.com. And thank you so much. You've been so kind to us over the years and so generous with your time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for what you do. We're all part of this keeping the party going thing, and it's such a fun. It's not a well-oiled machine, but it's a lubricated machine, and it's a very fun thing to be part of. And I'm glad to be part of it with you.
Patrick, that was Mac McAnally. Love talking to him whenever we get a chance to. He's the
best.
nicest, kindest, sweetest man you'll ever meet.
And the most natural storyteller I know. That man could spin a yarn like nobody's business. I love the way he talks. I love hearing about that smoke alarm.
I do too.
Who hasn't broken a smoke alarm? Also hearing that Jimmy Buffett...
With a 5-iron?
I love that story.
It's great.
Ryan, every week on this podcast, we talk about things we do that are Margaritaville. So what's something you've done that's Margaritaville this week?
Go with me. I'm house sitting right now.
Okay.
Which means I am not touching anything, which means I'm doing a lot of sitting, which means I'm doing a lot of relaxing.
Really nice.
Really nice.
Very
I'm
good.
forced to relax because I have to watch this house.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's forced relaxation is very Margaritaville.
It is. It is. How about you?
Something I've done this week that's very Margaritaville is I brought an entire pie to a very health-conscious potluck. I showed up with a gigantic boysenberry pie from my favorite place, Pie and Burger.
Okay.
And I quickly realized that everything else was celery and peanuts.
That sounds like the worst potluck ever.
Let's just say I made that potluck good.
Yeah.
And they should be thanking me. It was fantastic. But wouldn't you know, Ryan, it's time to check out.
All right. Well, until next time, my name is Ryan Middledorf.
My name is Patrick McDonald. We'll see you very soon. Fins up. License to Chill is the official Margaritaville podcast, produced by Tamara Baldanza-Decker, Courtney Watkins, and Kirsten Winquest. Art by Tom Boyd. Music by Aaron McAnally and Mick Utley. Additional resources provided by Coleman Sisson. New episodes are released every Monday. Subscribe now wherever you get your podcasts.